Good evening. You are tuning in to AWANI Tonight with me, Farhana Sheikh. UMNO wants to cut ties with Bersatu. Are they parting ways for good? And how confident are Malaysians in getting vaccinated against COVID-19? That's coming up. Malaysia has detected its first 2 COVID-19 cases of Nigerian SARS-CoV-2, also known as the B1525. The variant was detected in 2 foreigners who had flown in from Dubai.
In a Facebook post, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said, following a full genome sequencing, the Institute for Medical Research found protein spike mutations in the virus which had similar suite of protein deletions seen in the United Kingdom variant B117. He added that the E484K protein spike mutation is of high concern as this mutation has been reported to evade the immune system. He said the Nigerian variant may cause increase in transmissibility as well as possible reductions in immune response.
1 week since the start of the national COVID-19 vaccination program, the government targets to vaccinate 80% of the population in order to achieve herd immunity. But how confident are Malaysians in getting vaccinated against COVID-19? Sarayamia has the story.
A total of 1.9 million individuals have registered for the COVID-19 vaccine as of 4th of March. That is just over 6.2% of the total Malaysian population. So why are Malaysians still hesitant to register to get vaccinated? Infectious disease physician Dr. Giri Shan Rajaram explains the common misconceptions of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine and the Moderna vaccine are sort of vaccines made using the mRNA technology, and this is the first time we're rolling out mRNA vaccine in the population. But as I mentioned before, there's a lot of work that went through for many years before coming to this stage. Basically how it works is the mRNA is a piece of strand, and when it gets into the cell, it goes into an area called the cytoplasm. Our genetic material is kept inside the nucleus, the DNA is kept inside the nucleus, and this mRNA does not interact with the DNA or go into the nucleus. So there's no way the mRNA can sort of alter your DNA, so to speak. The virus itself has many different components. And the spike protein is the projections outside where the virus sort of latches on to the cells and gets in. So the spike protein is just one component of the virus, and in order to cause an infection you need the whole virus by itself. So in the vaccines that we are using, and the spike protein component is just one component, which is the outer projection, and this is the projection which is presented to the cell surface, where the body's immune response is made, and you get 2 vaccine doses 21 days apart when it comes to the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. So when you only have one component of the virus, there's absolutely no chance for you to get COVID from the vaccine itself. For the microchip part of it, I think we've addressed how the vaccines work, and there's no chance for interaction with the nucleus. There's, you're just making one component of the virus, and there's no microchips in the vaccine. And I think the whole autism link came out from a study some years ago, which was published in a journal, which has subsequently been retracted because it was not good studies which they based it on. So I mean, and unfortunately this sort of has still the lingering component which we have now, but I think it's important to make the sort of statements that what we know now in science, there's no direct link of vaccines to autism at the moment.
Two former DAP members from Perak have joined Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia. Perak Bersatu Deputy President Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal Azumu confirmed that Buntung Assemblyman A. Siva Subramaniam and Trono Rep Paul Young have joined the party.
Both of them had left DAP after Perikatan Nasional formed the Perak government in March last year. 3 months later, Siva Subramaniam joined Gerakan while Young remained as an independent. Azumu said Bersatu received their applications in December last year and both of them would be joining as associate members.
After a 2-hour meeting yesterday, Bersatu has decided to focus on strengthening its alliances with other parties besides UMNO. This came after UMNO announced its decision to cut ties with Bersatu when the 15th general election is called. What had led to the final decision to part ways? Political analyst Mujibu Abdul Muiz weighs in.
Well, UMNO and Bersatu clash has been expected because the rift between both parties has been started earlier when the formation of the government after the Sheraton move fiasco. So we can simply see that there are two big events that lead to the clash. We can simply say that these two events are the boiling point of Bersatu and UMNO, which is Sabah state election and Perak political leadership crisis. So we can simply say that this is the last nail to the coffin where UMNO decided to break apart its relationship with Bersatu. And we have to also note that UMNO have already clearly declared that the cooperation with Bersatu is just simply to establish government, and the collaboration between them will end so long the general election is declared. So nothing, we can simply say that nothing is certain, but somehow that is the strong statement by UMNO since the early beginnings.
The question now centres on the impact towards Tan Sri Muhyiddin's leadership if he loses UMNO's support in Parliament. However, Mujibu said while the two parties are not able to see eye to eye at the moment, the possibility of them working together again is not impossible.
While of course Bersatu want to maintain this relationship by having UMNO as their coalition, due to the fact that they have with UMNO, they have a greater chances of maintaining power by winning the majority seat, especially in the Malay voter stronghold, which is 126 altogether. And the experience in the general election in 2018 shows that Pakatan Harapan managed to wrestle the government from UMNO due to the fact that there is changes or slight changes in the Malay voters from UMNO Barisan Nasional to Pakatan Harapan. The moment it is difficult for us to say that UMNO and Bersatu will get back together and collaborate once again, but knowing politics, it is sometimes very uncertain to say anything like that because politics is dynamic, so anytime they can collaborate once again. Because knowing UMNO in its current condition, we can simply see there are two camps within UMNO, one that wanted to maintain their collaboration with Perikatan Nasional and Bersatu, and of course the other one will be break away from UMNO and of course try to move alone in the general election. And of course these two camps will be clearly see within the centrality of the party, the Majlis Kerja Tertinggi or the top leadership of UMNO, as well as the regular members of UMNO.
And here are other headlines for today.
Registration for COVID-19 vaccination is now available via online registration and hotline. Starting today, applicants can register on vaccinecovid.gov.my and receive confirmation within 24 hours. Or they can sign up by calling the number 1-800-888-888
828. Meanwhile, some 2,024,000 people have registered for the COVID-19 vaccine as of 3 p.m. today. Registration was open to the public just 10 days ago on February 23rd, and it reached the first million registrations on February 26. Meanwhile, Zoo Negara reopened its doors to the public today. The zoo ensured that strict SOPs will be implemented, which include limiting visitors to 2,500 at any one time from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin will be visiting Saudi Arabia and the UAE from tomorrow until March 11. This is his second official visit overseas after his one-day trip to Indonesia in February. He will be accompanied by Foreign Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Hussein.
We'll take a short break. Stay with us.
Di mana ekonomi Malaysia menguncup pada kadar 3.4% pada suku keempat 2020.
Sepasang suami isteri.
Bila sentuh soal berita, tiada masa untuk tunggu. Kepada anda kami bawakan fakta, susulan dan kupasan yang terkini. Tiada drama dan tiada pengulangan. Usah tunggu lama-lama. AWANI 7.45 lebih awal dari biasa.
To the streets despite the use of lethal force by the military to crack down on protesters. International pressure is mounting. The latest, YouTube has removed 5 channels of Myanmar's military-run television networks hosted on its platform. YouTube said the videos violated its community guidelines and terms of service. While on the diplomatic front, the United States has included Myanmar's ministries and army conglomerates on its trade blacklist. The United Nations said that at least 54 people have been killed since the coup started in February. More than 1,700 people had been arrested, including 29 journalists. Pope Francis arrived in Baghdad today in a historic visit to Iraq. The head of the Roman Catholic Church will travel to 4 cities across the country, where he will meet Iraq's top cleric, Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani.
Iraq Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi on hand to greet him at the airport. The Pope has insisted on the visit despite resurging violence in Iraq and amid a second wave of COVID-19 infections, prompting authorities to impose full lockdowns. Pope Francis's visit aims to encourage Iraq's dwindling Christian community who were persecuted during the Islamic State's insurgency and to boost ties with the Shiite Muslim world. Although some Shia militant groups oppose the Pope's visit, many Iraqis hope that it can help foster a fresh view of Iraq.
Malaysia has seen various digital transformation initiatives since the 90s, all with varying levels of success in execution. Tonight on Consider This, we focus on the 10-year My Digital Plan and whether it is going to be the game changer it's touted to be. That is all we have for you on AWANI tonight. Get the latest news update on COVID-19 and COVID-19 vaccines from astroawani.com and Astro Awani app. I'm Farhana Sheikh. We'll see you tomorrow.